Okay, so yesterday we had section 12-2. Thank you. All right, let's take a look at it. Somebody said they had a question. All right, which one was it? Which one?
20. It might seem easy.
No, it's okay. It's all right. It's all right.
Sorry.
So what is the area of the CD?
Oh, it's like the donut one. That's
That's exactly what the donut is.
So you add.
Right, except this time they give you the what? They give you the diameter instead of the radius. All right, so let's look at 20. All right, that's a good question. Area equals pi capital R squared minus pi.
I'm really bad at it.
You good with that? So, again, remember, big R was the radius of the big circle. So, somebody explain to me what the radius of the big circle is. Somebody else?
Oh, wait, no, it's 6, sorry.
6, don't be sorry, it's good. 6 squared minus, what's the radius of the small one? 0.75. And then you just type that right in the calculator.
Sorry, that seems easy.
All right. What was it?
The answer was 6.74.
About 6.74 centimeters.
That might not be right.
Yeah, I got
Thank
111.33.
Okay, wait.
111.3 centimeters squared. Okay.
Wait, that's right.
Well, I'm okay with that. Remember what I said. What?
I have a question on number 22.
Okay,
I thought I knew it,
so listen to me. 22 I shouldn't have given you. All right, you have to do the square root, and I haven't really talked to you about the square root.
Oh,
You know what I mean? I know. I appreciate you guys doing that. I don't want to talk. I don't really want to go over it right now. All right, that's totally my fault. They put that in there. They should not put that in there. All right, what?
What was number 23? You had to do square root too.
Yeah, 22 and 23. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, guys. 22 and 23. We don't have to do it. If you did them, I appreciate it. All right, but again, we haven't really talked about the square root that much, so I don't want to work backwards on that. Yeah. There is, absolutely. All right. There is. All right, was there anything else? What? Let's look at 26 now. All right, yeah, this one's a good one. All right, so let's take a look at 26, definitely. All right. Now, did we say yesterday what the formula was? Did I give you the formula?
Yes, it was D equals, wait,
The distance around
1/4
of the circumference.
plus radius.
That's exactly correct. All right. So how do I figure out what the circumference is? It's just pi times the what? Diameter, right? And what's the diameter? 10. Does everybody agree with that? And then that should be the answer, right? Somebody tell me that answer? 19.63. I believe that's correct. Anybody else get that?
I got
Okay.
the area.
Well, the area is a different formula, right?
Yeah.
Area equals 1/4 pi times 5 squared.
Oh, I got 17.85.
For what?
Maybe I did it wrong.
1/4 times pi times 10 plus 10.
Oh, wait, I see.
Is that right or not? 19.63. I've got somebody saying
Yeah.
it's wrong.
I got 17.85 twice.
I got 17.9.
Yeah, 17.9.
17.9. All right, so everybody take out your calculator. There can only be one right answer. Bless you, bless you, bless you. 1/4 times pi times 10 plus 10.
Yeah, 17.5.
Okay, so 19.63.
It's the area.
Now somebody do 1/4 times pi times 5 squared. And what's that? 19 point. So that's all it was. And then that would be inches squared. And that would be. That's not the end of the world. What?
I'm confused for the distance why it's plus 2.
For this one? Because I'm going to walk around, okay? If I go, start here and I go here, that's what? 1/4 of the circumference, right? What's that? What's that? Right now?
Yeah.
All right, we're good. Everybody good now? All right. So now, make sure your name's on it, please. All right. And now we're going to go into today's worksheet, which is the rest of the area stuff. All right. So I want everybody to take a look at that right there. And yeah, it's a worksheet. I'm going to pass it out. But you should know all the areas. You should know all the area formulas. You've worked on that a lot. What? I believe you. I totally believe you. All right. Here we go. Yes, it is. Miracle. All right. Here we go. Somebody else get homework. Good job, boys. Where's your work? All right, the first shape up the board is called a what? Circle. What's the formula for area of a circle?
A equals pi r squared.
I'm happy with you. The second shape is called what? What is the formula for area of a rectangle? You could say length times width, or you could say, some people say base times height. All right. So again, I prefer that you say length times width. All right. What is the next shape called? Triangle. What's the formula for area of a triangle?
Base 1 times base 2, something else.
Something else, something else. Wow. Guys. What is it?
9 times width, or yeah, 9 times width divided by 1/2 times 1/2.
All right, so let's look at this one real quick. I'm going to show you how to memorize these things. Yes, I did actually. Thank you. All right, so here we go. So I have area, number 1. Everybody writes that down. Area equals pi r squared. Area for number 2 equals length times width. Do we agree with that?
Yeah.
All right, now please watch this. If I draw this from here to here, and I say, what would be the area of this up here? What would that be? What would it be?
3.5.
No.
What?
Half of the area.
Half of the area. Thank you so much. All right, that's how you remember the formula for area of a triangle. That's how you remember the formula for area of a triangle. It's just half of a what? Rectangle. The triangle is half the rectangle. So if you know the rectangle is length times width, the area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. Now, length times width and base times height are kind of interchangeable. All right? They're kind of interchangeable. 1/2 base times height. All right, now the only thing you have to remember, the base and the height are I always used to tell my kids, go to the right angle. That's the right angle symbol. And those have arrows to the two things that are the base and the height. It will. Or you can't do it. All right. Next. What's this shape called? Ooh, it is a quadrilateral, but it has a special name. All sides are not equal. Parallelogram. Thank you very much. That is a parallelogram. A parallelogram is just a tilted what? Tilted rectangle. What's the area of a rectangle? Length times width. So is it going to change just because it's tilted? No. So we're going to say the area is equal to base times height. All right, it's base times height. Now watch me again. The right angle points to the two things that you should be using. It points to the two things you should be using. What?
Do you care if we use like that?
Well, I'm putting what's traditionally used. All right, if you choose LW, I don't really care. All right, but I won't say LW, I will say base times height. Okay, the next shape is called a what? Square. How do I find the area of the square? It's still length times width, but what's true about the length and the width? They are the same. So in math, if two things are the same and you multiply them, it's called the side squared. It's just the side squared. Do you really have to know that? No. You just know it's 10 times 10. All right, now the next shape. Who remembers what the next shape is? Called a trapezoid. That is correct. I always tell kids, does anybody remember the formula for a trapezoid? I tell the kids it's the average of the bases times the height. All right, now look, if you want, this is base 1. This is considered base 2. All right, how do you find the average? You do what? You add them up and divide by 2. So you say base 1 plus base 2. All right, now if I want the average, I have to divide that by 2. But because you guys are brilliant, dividing by 2 and multiplying by 1/2 is the same thing. So it's 1/2 base 1 plus base 2 times the height. That is the formula. All right, that's the formula. You should know all those formulas. What does that mean? When you take your quiz, am I giving you those formulas? Nope, I'm not. What?
Is the base one or is at the top? Or does it
Do you think it would matter if I did 12 plus 6 or 6 plus 12? All right, what do you think?
I forgot. I'm sorry. It's H height, right?
H stands for height. What?
Wait, so are you multiplying B1 plus B2 by 1/2 and then?
We're going to find out here in a minute. All right, you guys are smart enough. You can easily do this. All right, we've already done it once. All right. The problem is last year they gave you all the formulas. This year, guess what? You don't get any formulas. You have to know the formulas. All right, is everybody with me? Write those down. And I try to show kids how they're kind of easy to remember. The one I think that's kind of hard to remember is the trapezoid. That's the only one I think requires a little bit of thought. All right? But if you want, let me show you something on the trapezoid. Right? If I measure this, and I measure this, and I move this over here, but I have to flip it.
It's a square.
All right. So the other thing we could do is, if you ever get in trouble, you could cut it into what?
A rectangle.
And two triangles if you wanted to. Does everybody see that? You could just, you don't see two triangles in that picture.
Yeah, I do, but how do you do that?
Well, you would find the area of each triangle, and the area. How do you find the area of a triangle? All right, come on, wake up today. All right, so here we go. Now again, I'm just going to quickly go through this. All right, quickly go through this. All right, so everybody, area is pi times what? 11 squared, which is approximately, everybody's got to do it.
380.13.
Say it again.
380.13.
380.13. Roughly 380.13.
Oh,
All right, and then thank you. You have to write the units. Yards squared.
just try.
What?
Oh, I just did try squared up here.
No, it's not okay. All right. What?
Do we need to write pi times 11 to the power 2?
Yes, I want you to write that down because you're practicing writing the what? Yeah, you're practice writing the formula. Or are you going to be upset when you come and take your test and you forgot a formula? I'm going to look at you like I'm sorry. That's why you wrote it down every single time.
The areas are square, right?
Areas are squares. Yes, you measure area with squares.
So every single area is square.
You measure area with what?
Square.
That's why you put squares. So if I ask you to find the area, it will be measured in?
Square.
You're brilliant, see?
Thank you.
All right, here we go. Area is equal to length times width. What is the length and the width here?
7.
So we're just going to put 7 times 3. Slow down. Notice I wrote it down. All right. What's 7 times 3? 21 what? Yes, 21 square feet. Does everybody agree with that? All right, that's easy. All right. Next, area equals 1/2. Uh-oh. We're missing a side. What's that side? Nathan?
Isn't it? It's the same length.
How do you know that?
Because it's a right
No.
angle.
We know that because,
It's a triangle.
Chloe,
Because it goes to the line.
yeah, I remember in our geometry lesson I said those tick mark means that they're the same length. That's how I know it's 4. So now area equals 1/2. 4 times 4. You don't need a calculator for that. 8 what?
Inches squared.
Yes, 8 inches squared. No, we're talking about area
Square.
squares. There we go. Simple, simple. I told you. All right, now, does everybody recognize what I'm saying about the right angle points to the numbers you use, right?
Yeah.
So if I put a 7 here, I don't want you confused. What two numbers are we using? 2 and 5,
Well, I
right?
need to calculate for that one.
So area, yes, I believe it. 2 times 5, which is
10.
10.
10.
10.
10 feet squared.
10 feet squared.
10 feet squared. Yes, sir.
What happens if there isn't a right angle?
Then you're not going to find the area, right?
Oh, wait.
Later on, I'm going to show you how to find the height, but right now we don't know. All right? If it's missing, there's ways to find it, but we don't know that yet. What? Quickly, I got lots to do.
Why don't we use the 7? Because that's the actual way it's going.
Because it's not attached to the right angle.
Yeah.
For those of you guys who are listening, I said the
I
height.
know, but I
The
don't
height.
understand.
You're not listening. The height is always perpendicular to the base. That's why it creates a right angle. Perpendicular just means it's at a right angle. You have to use the one that's at the what?
The right angle.
Wow, very good. You
That's
learn.
my right
You
to
learn
ask.
quickly.
I think I like the next one.
Oh, I doubt it. All right. Here we go. Area is
10 squared.
yes, 10 squared. No, it's not 20.
100. That's what it says.
Oh, you said 20.
Inches
100 what?
squared.
Inches squared. 100 inches squared.
Oh,
Everybody's
do the
good?
next one?
It's simple, simple. What?
I do the next one.
Okay, so what's the next one called again?
Trapezoid.
Trapezoid. So again, here's how I want you to write it. Don't try to do it your own way. All right, area, 1/2. What are the two bases? 12 plus 6. What's the height? 8. There you go. So on your calculator, well, you don't really need a calculator on that. 12 plus 6 is
18.
half of 18 times 8.
72.
72 what?
Yards squared.
72 yards squared. Is not the answer.
Is the answer. What? Okay, but when you're doing it in the calculator, like it was a bigger number, you would have to put the parentheses.
Yes, you would. Or just add first. Or add first. And then say times 1/2. You with me? But yes, your calculator has parentheses. All right? You do it however you want, as long as you got 72. All right? If the side of the square is 23 meters, determine the area. So the first thing you do is put area equals side squared. Somebody tell me. Yes, Chloe. That's right. 23 squared, which is 529 square feet. You're awesome. All right. Now again, number 8, rectangle. Go.
A rectangle is okay. Area equals length times width.
Length times width.
Equals 20 parentheses times 13. Area equals.
Really, 13 times 2.
Is 260.
Now I saw you look up on the board and get my answer too.
I did not. I
saw
promise.
you.
I promise, Mr. Strauss. No, I promise. I did not. I pinky promise. I pinky promise.
Oh, thank you.
I
Now
didn't
feel
know. I
much better.
promise.
You pinky
No, I
promise.
didn't. I
Go
promise.
sit down.
No, I didn't. Though I didn't. I didn't.
All right,
I
here we go.
Oh, and also guess
All right,
what?
now
That's the yardage.
page 2. Page 2 is exactly like page what?
Wow.
Just for extra practice. Now,
So we don't have to do it?
we're getting into the hard stuff now, guys. I want everybody to look at number 1. All right, you're welcome.
No.
Why?
You're welcome. You have to find the area. All right, you have to find the area. Now, again, a lot of people find this difficult, but it's in fact super what? All you have to do is, all you have to understand is the area of the individual shapes. All right, what you do is you simply divide it up into shapes that you recognize. Please listen to me. It's very simple. All right, I don't know why these are called composite figures that on ERBs cause so much trouble. All right, I really don't know. All right, part of it may be that you just don't understand the formulas. All right, but actually all I have to do here is divide it into what?
Section.
Into sections. That is correct. And I'm going to divide it into what? Into rectangles. Now, a lot of times the kids have trouble figuring out the dimensions of the rectangles. How many rectangles are there here?
2, 3.
3. So I want you to put area of the first rectangle equals area of the second rectangle, area of the third rectangle. So we're going to go with the top. Now listen, I also understand why kids make mistakes here. Please, please, please follow along. This is the rectangle I'm referring to. What are those dimensions? Somebody tell me those dimensions, Chloe. Yep. 8 and 3. Does the 4 have anything to do with it?
No.
Has nothing to do with it. Has nothing to do with it. Absolutely nothing to do with it. Put your hand down. Absolutely nothing to do with it. So, area 1, we're going to say 8 times 3. All right. Now, I'm going to draw, or I'm going to highlight the second rectangle. Here is the next rectangle. Now it gets a little bit more complicated because the numbers are not directly there. Oh, all right. So with that in mind, I'm drawing this. All right. And now I need some help, but I need you to please be careful. All right. Tell me.
Okay, so overall, that long side, 10 numbers. So the top rectangle is 3.
So I'm going to put it, notice she's brilliant. Notice what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a 3 right here because that's opposite what? This side, which is 3.
And then the bottom rectangle is 2.
That's right. So right here is what? 2.
And so if you add that together, that's 5. So
Yes. So the middle has to be 5. Look, that's excellent, actually. All right. So now, what's the other one? What's the other dimension? How did you know that?
because on the top it's 8.
Right here is 8. And this is why it was important to know from here to here is what? 4. So that means there has to be 4 left. There's also the 6 and the 2. You could have done it on that one as well. So the dimensions are what for that middle triangle? 5 times 4. All right. Now the third rectangle. James, what are the dimensions of the third rectangle?
2 times 6.
2 times 6. Come on, guys. I don't know why people think that's hard. Lucas, right? My green, that's just simple. All you have to do is find the area of the individual ones. And now, what's 8 times 3? 5 times 4. 2 times 6. Now, without a calculator, 56 what? Miles squared. I just think that's easy. Everybody agree with me? That's easy. Easy, easy, easy. All right, so now we're going to try number 2. All right, so the top, very top, this shape right here is called a what? No, it's called a trapezoid. Now, the reason you're right, it is a hexagon. I'm not arguing with you. But do we really know how to find the formula? Do we know the area of a hexagon? No. When you're an 8th grader, I'm going to teach you how to do that. All right? But right now, we don't know. So we broke the hexagon into 2 what? Into 2 trapezoids. Are the trapezoids exactly the same?
Yes.
Yes. So here's what we got. We got area of the trapezoid. Now look what I did. Does everybody see that? Area of the trap. That's just an abbreviation. Area of the trapezoid. But how many trapezoids are there? 2. So I'm going to have 2 of those. Right? So I want equals 2. Now watch what I'm doing. 2 parentheses 1/2 base 1 plus base 2 times the height. That's what I need everybody to write down. Everybody agreed? What are you confused about?
I don't get how you. So is it just gonna do 2 trapezoids?
That's right. This is the area of the what? That's the formula for area of a what? That's the formula for area of a trapezoid. How many trapezoids do I have?
2.
Now, the only reason I can put a 2 there is because the 2 trapezoids are what? Exactly the same. Right? I couldn't do that if they were different sizes. You understand that, right? All right, just like the next thing we're going to do. So what shape is this guy down here? What is this called? Is the bottom rectangle the same as the middle rectangle? So I can't do 2 times the rectangle. So I have area number 2, which is length times width. Does everybody agree with that? And area 3 is also what? Length times width. Now that's just my personal opinion. I just think that's how you should do these problems. You break them down into the shapes that you know. And then you look at the sheet before if you forgot a formula, and you kind of go back and look up the formula. But write the formula down so you'll memorize it. All right? That's part of the problem, I think, on ERBs a lot. All right? So now, let's get busy on the trapezoid. So here we go. Now, I want someone to be smart here. Please look up. I'm trying to teach you something now. Without a calculator, what happens here? What can they do to each other? Lucas. Yeah, they cancel out. If you have to take half of something, then you multiply it by 2. Don't you agree that's kind of silly?
Yeah.
Everybody hear me? That's silly. So we're being smarter now with numbers. All right, I don't want you grabbing your calculator. If the numbers are small, we don't need a calculator. All right, I don't want you waking up one day and saying half of 4, give me your calculator. All right, you should know those. All right, so what are the two bases, please?
20.
I said, what are the two bases?
Oh, 10.
10 plus 20. Then what's the height? 9. All right. Now I'm going to shrink this down a little bit so I have more room. Now you still don't need a calculator. Don't embarrass me. What's 10 plus 20? 30 times 9. Yeah, 270. I see some of you. I see what you're talking about. All right, now we got a problem here. Length and width of the rectangle. Tell me.
So the length is 20.
The length is 20 times. Because here, we did this by going like this, right? That's 20, which is the same as this. All right, now if you're confused, we just go that. I'm trying to figure out what that is. That little, how much? How did you get that? Yes, 3 plus 3 is 6. The whole length opposite is 10. So this right here has to be a 4. Wait a minute. 20 times 4 today is again? You did that without a calculator, right? 80. You did that without a calculator, right? And without looking at my answer, correct? Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So, Jackson, the bottom rectangle. What are the...
5 times 10.
You are amazing. 5 times 10, which is 50. So the area of that shape is how much? Without a calculator. 0. 400. You all are wrong. 400 millimeters squared.
No, I said 0 because I was thinking in my head.
Yeah. Right. You were adding those up and got 0, obviously. Okay. So now, here we go. All right. I want everybody to look at number 3, and then I'm going to leave you alone. All right. So, area of the top is, what's that shape? Triangle. So, a lot of times in math, what I'll do is I'll do this. Area of the triangle. What's the formula for area of a triangle again without looking?
Oh, I got it.
Tell us.
Oh, isn't it like
You're asking. You're supposed to be telling us.
base times height times 1/2?
Yes. 1/2. Base times height. Area. What's that next one called? Trapezoid. What's the formula for area of a trapezoid without looking?
Okay, so you do 1/2 parentheses B1 plus B2 times height.
Stop looking at the board.
Well,
All right. Area. What's the bottom one called? Half a circle. There's a better semicircle. Yes. Semicircle. All right. Who's got the formula for the semicircle? Oh, yeah. Go.
Okay, so you got
Lucas, help him.
no.
Well, come on.
Pi r squared times 1/2.
Wow. Slow down. 1/2 pi r squared. All right. Now, be real careful. Lucas, please tell me the radius of the circle.
5.5.
Thank you. All right. You just have to be careful. All right. You just have to be careful. What?
That triangle doesn't have a rating.
Oh, it doesn't have a right angle. Very good. Thank you. But this is the right angle. That's the height. True. So what's the height?
5.
5. All right, you're correct though. It should be there. All right, I like that. All right, guys, listen. Notice this.
No.
What can we do with that one?
Not do it.
Tell me what to do. I'm listening.
So you put the triangle.
All right, so the first thing you want to do is go this way. All right, hold on. Now what do I do? So how many shapes do you see? 3. You have a and yeah, semicircle and 2 triangles. All right. Now I'm not going to help you out anymore. All right. Finish well. Let's do up through 6. And then tomorrow in class we'll do 7, 8, 9 together. And yes, and the middle worksheet.
We have a middle worksheet?
Good job, guys. Good job. Good job. Good job. That was fun.